All right, what is up, YouTube? Today is frickin' arm day. I'm heading over to Planet Fitness now to go train. And once again, Planet Fitness is coming in clutch with their 24-hour access. Um, and it is pretty freaking late. It is almost 12 o'clock in the morning. So I guess you can say I'm hitting 2 workouts today when you think about it, because by the time I get to the gym, it's going to be 12. And then I'm going to go to sleep, wake up, and then go train some quads. Um, my arms were pretty sore throughout the week. I took 2 rest days on Thursday and a rest day on Friday. So today is Saturday. You'll be seeing this on Sunday. And then I'm going to go train quads on Sunday. But the reason why I took rest days in the middle of the week is because my arms were pretty sore from training biceps on Monday with chest and triceps on Tuesday with back. So being that they were still sore, I didn't want to go and train them. And I usually take around 2 rest days a week anyway, so I took them back to back, which I usually don't do. And it definitely felt a little weird to be out of the gym for that long. But rest is the key to growth. If you're not taking rest days, um, I mean, I don't really like to take a full rest day. I want to talk about what a rest day should be. In my mind, a rest day, I still do my cardio and I still train abs and maybe some days some forearms. So, rest according to how you feel. I mean, if you're not sore, you can definitely still train, but it is good to give your body time to rest. You don't want to really be overtraining, because I know it's hard mentally to not go to the gym. I feel like for some people, it's hard mentally to get in the gym, and there's other people that it's hard mentally to stay out of the gym. A lot of people like myself want to be in the gym every day, but in terms of recovery and growth, um, it's definitely important to take your rest days. Um, so yeah, but rest days don't have to mean you sit on your ass and do nothing all day. You could definitely hop on the bike, go for a little bike ride, you know, walk, go on the treadmill, do your cardio, train abs, maybe forearms, some calves, just little muscle groups here and there. But rest is important. But anyway, let's talk about the arm workout for a little bit. I'm definitely going to be starting off with some triceps. I'm probably going to do about 8 total sets for triceps today, 8 to 10. And then I'm going to move over into some biceps. Same damn plan, 8 to 10 work sets for them. And then after that, I'll finish off with a little bit of forearms, probably a couple sets of abs. Then I'm going to go home, eat, and then go to bed. Game plan for triceps, probably just going to start off with some extensions, a little bit of skull crushers, and then some dips. And then biceps, it's just a bunch of different curl variations. I'm going to probably start off with some heavy dumbbell curls, throw on the wraps to just put more tension on the biceps and take a little bit off of the forearms. And then after some dumbbell curls, I'll probably move into the preacher curl machine for a little bit, and then finish off with some hammer curls. Pretty simple on that end. And then for forearms, I just spam some cable curls. I throw a straight bar onto the cable stack and just go for as many reps as I physically can. It's just a really good way to flood your forearms with a lot of blood. Um, yeah, that's basically the game plan. Um, what else did I want to talk about? Pre-workout. I feel like I've talked about this in the last couple of videos if you've been watching them all. Right now it is 12 o'clock at night, or almost 12 o'clock in the morning, and obviously I'm pretty tired. But to my point before about recovery and getting good rest days in, recovery is also very important in terms of sleep, and that's a pretty well-known fact. But in my head, I could have taken pre-workout now and uh, feel more awake right now. But in my head, if I took a lot of pre-workout right now and I was like jumping up and down with a lot of caffeine, chances are that the caffeine is going to still be in my system when I get home. And that's going to really mess with my recovery when it comes to going to bed. I'm not going to be able to sleep because I have all this caffeine in my system. So that's when a stim-free pre-workout really, really comes in handy. You still get a lot of pump benefits without all of the stimulant benefits. And as I mentioned in the past, caffeine is very addictive, and the more you take, the more you're going to need. So just use it wisely. You don't want to overuse it in the beginning, and then your tolerance will just get too high. You kind of want to use it on proper workouts. You don't want to kind of waste it in a sense. Now, if it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon and you're feeling a little tired, definitely take some. But if you're going for a late workout, like 12 o'clock at night or 12 o'clock in the morning, whatever you want to think of it as, you got to think, are you going to be able to sleep with the amount of caffeine that you're going to be consuming? But yeah, that's basically my mindset on it. Another thing I really like to do when I get into the gym is hop on the treadmill for about 10 minutes just to really warm up my body, especially being like it's winter where it's winter where everybody lives right now, but it's 35 degrees outside in New Jersey, and that is not warm by any means. And when I work out, I like to be warm. So I like to hop on the treadmill for a bit, get a nice little sweat going. Nothing too fatiguing. I don't want to do cardio and run right now because I don't want to fatigue myself. But I like to get a little warm, break a little sweat, and then get into training. Again, I don't think of that as cardio. I just think of it almost as like a little warm-up because, like I mentioned, it is pretty damn cold out. But enough yapping. I'm pulling up on the gym now, and I will see you all for the first work set of triceps. Peace out, guys. All right, what is going on, everybody? So I'm starting off my arm workout with some rope cable extensions right here. This is a really, really good first movement for me. I feel like at the bottom, the fact that you can really spread the ropes apart just allows for a really, really good contraction on the triceps. And the fact that you can also spread the ropes out a lot at the bottom does a really nice job of targeting all three heads of the triceps rather than just the lateral head. Typically, when you're doing any sort of extension for your triceps in this sort of a fashion, you're going to be doing more of your lateral head. But the fact that you can really spread out your triceps and almost imitate a katana movement, you can definitely target a lot more of your medial head and your long head of the tricep as well. So after the rope extensions, I'm moving over into some single arm cable extensions. Right here, the way I'm doing them, it's really just targeting mostly the lateral head, being that I'm not really pushing it out to the side too much. I'm more just pushing it straight down, and these felt super duper nice. I like to do more isolation movements first before I move into any compounds, being that I feel like if I were to start with a compound like a dip movement, I feel like my triceps could definitely be at their strongest and I could press a lot of weight, or even close grip bench as a compound. I feel like if I started at that, I can definitely move a lot of weight around, but I don't connect with the muscle nearly as much when I do those compound movements right at the start. I connect with them a lot better when I do isolation movements before, just to pump up the muscle a lot, and then do a heavy compound after. I just feel it in that targeted muscle a lot more. But now moving over into some W bar skull crushers on the cable. Now you might be thinking to yourself, how is this a skull crusher? Typically, when you're doing a skull crushers, it's an overhead extension. But the way I'm angling my body and leaning forward, if I were to just be standing straight up and pushing with that same pattern, it would still be targeting the long head of my triceps in a skull crusher fashion. So if you ever have any shoulder issues, try to lean forward and do a cable skull crusher. You'll do tremendous work on your the long head of your tricep with putting your shoulder in a very comfortable position. So back to what I was saying before about a compound movement like dips. I'm doing them now as the last movement of the day, just finishing off with a nice press, not going too heavy. I'm going nice, slow, and controlled, and I'm almost imagining that I'm extending my arms down. I'm not really thinking of it too much as a press. I'm really just trying to target my triceps fully. If you've watched any of my chest day videos, I do dips in a pressing fashion where I'm really just trying to target my lower pecs and really just trying to target my chest as much as possible. And I'll also keep my arms wider out and flare my elbows in a chest dip. But being that I'm targeting triceps here, I want to keep my elbows tucked and almost pretend like I'm extending my arms down rather than pressing them down. But that was the last movement of triceps for the day, and now I'm moving over into some biceps. Today I'm starting off with some dumbbell curls right here. I'm starting off with a pretty heavy set. I believe I got the 50s in each hand, and I believe I got 10 reps with a few partials at the end. Now going back, if I could go back in time and edit this workout, I would definitely start off with more of a preacher curl, because to my point before when I was talking about triceps, when I said I don't like to start with a compound and I like to start with more of an isolation movement, I also feel the same way about biceps. If I start, and you might be thinking to yourself, aren't dumbbell curls an isolation movement for your biceps? I would say yes, it is. However, what I mean by an isolation movement is I would have rather to start with more of a cable preacher curl just to really get a nice stretch and a nice squeeze at the top, and doing more of a cable movement to focus on the contractions and then move into a heavier compound after. In my head, I just connect with a movement a lot better when I go more slow and controlled in the beginning, lighter, just get a good pump and then slam some heavy weights after. It just works for me, and if you want to give it a shot, by all means do, and let me know what you think. But after my top set with the 50s there, I'm moving over into the 40s right now, just going a little bit lighter, more slow and controlled. There's no reason to really go too heavy all the time for biceps. It's a very small muscle and it doesn't need that much heavy stimulation. I like to give it just one heavy set in the entire workout, and then everything else is just higher volume, less weight, more slow and controlled, really getting a good squeeze at the top and a good stretch at the bottom. But after these dumbbell curls, I move over into a preacher curl machine. Those felt super duper nice. If you might be at the gym and you might just do preacher curls just because you think like, oh, it's a good bicep workout, but it really, really is probably one of the best bicep workouts. The fact that your triceps are resting on a pad just really, really does a nice job of stretching your biceps at the bottom. I feel like a lot of times people really just focus on the squeeze of a movement, or the concentric motion where they're actually doing the motion. But a very big importance to really focus on as well is the other half of the movement, which is the eccentric motion and getting a really good stretch at the bottom. You know, getting just a good squeeze is fine, but when you get a really good stretch on top of that, it just does a really, really nice job of getting an even better pump. And that's why I really like preacher curls, because I feel like you can get a really nice stretch at the bottom. Because sometimes when I'm doing dumbbell curls, I feel like I'm mostly just focusing on the concentric motion and just getting a squeeze at the top, and I don't really feel the sensation of a stretch at the bottom. Whereas if I'm doing a preacher curl, I feel a really nice stretch. So being that I was over by the preacher curls, I decided to just do some preacher curl hammer curls right now as well. So as you could see, I'm not grabbing the recommended handles, I guess you can say. I'm grabbing kind of in the middle. And the way the bar is shaped, it's really almost imitating a hammer curl. So instead of going over to do some dumbbell hammer curls, I decided to just do these today. They felt super duper nice. And to my point before about getting a good stretch on the preacher curl, being that your triceps are on a pad, it works the same way for these hammer curls. You just get a really nice stretch and a really nice squeeze at the top. But that's all for the workout. No post-workout talk today. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow for legs. Peace out.